Well, if you're a longtime viewer of my channel, you might be wondering, what in the heck, Brian, are you doing outside? You're not an outdoors guy, and of course, I'm not. But this is a test of the Rode Wireless Go in a couple of different ways, and I needed to be outside for it. The first test I wanted to make was how far away from the camera can I be? And if you're thinking, well, you don't seem that far away from the camera, you'd be wrong. In fact, I am very far away. Hey, Brian Miller here, and welcome back to Audio for Content Creators, where we help you sound better and level up for all your content creation needs. And this video is an overview and a review, a mild review, of this, the Rode Wireless Go lav mic system in white. Full disclosure, Rode did send this to me along with the MAGCLIP accessory, which we'll be going over in a little bit, and the Rode Wireless Lav mic, also in white, that I'm using right now. Absolutely all the audio you hear in this video will be coming from the Rode Wireless Go. And at any point, I'll make sure that you know whether I'm using this lav mic, the Wireless Lav from Rode, or if I'm using some other lav mic, or if I'm using the built-in mic to the transmitter. Whatever I'm doing, if I'm doing any post-processing, I'll let you know at that time. There will always be text on the screen in the lower left-hand corner. Did I get that right this time? Letting you know where or what I'm using. Apart from this being white, there's really nothing different about this, as far as I know, from the standard version in black. Now, I have to say, this white, it's beautiful if you're into that clean aesthetic, you know, that real Pinterest-looking aesthetic. I probably wouldn't use a white lav mic system, mostly because when I use a lav mic, which is incredibly rare, I really want it to be hidden. I don't want it to be obvious that I've got a lav mic on, or my talent, or my guest, or whoever it is has a lav mic on, and if you're wearing a white one, it's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. Having said that, the new Audio for Content Creators shirts that I have, which, come on, how awesome are these? Because it's purple with white as a logo, I actually think this white looks pretty good with this particular shirt, so there you go. As they say, all generalities are false. So first, let's do a quick basic overview. There are a million videos that have already gone through all the features of the Wireless Go, but in case you're not familiar and this is your first time, you get the transmitter and the receiver. So the transmitter goes on the talent and can function either by itself, because it has a built-in mic, we'll get there in a minute, or you can plug any microphone with a 3.5mm jack into it, so it doesn't have to be a lav mic or this lav mic. It could be a shotgun mic that you're booming over your talent and just using this as the receiver. Lots of cool options there. The receiver has a 3.5mm output, which would be plugged into a camera, like I am right now with the Panasonic G85, or it could be plugged into a portable audio recorder. Anything that accepts a 3.5mm TRS cable, you can run the receiver into. Both the transmitter and the receiver work on a rechargeable battery via USB-C, and Rode has included 2 USB-C cables with it, so you can charge both at the same time. I've only used it for a little bit of testing here and there, not for full days of shooting or anything, but I haven't recharged it once since the day I got them, so as far as I'm concerned, the battery life's fantastic. So of course the clip on the transmitter is designed to clip it to your belt or clip it to your shirt. What did I just say? Short to your shirt. And the clip on the receiver is designed to do the same. You could clip it to a shirt or a belt or some other piece of gear, but it also double functions as a cold shoe. Hot shoe? No. You can mount it to the top of your camera. I literally have no idea what that's called. So the receiver has a couple of extra functions that the transmitter doesn't have. It's got a dB, a decibel, button, which lets you select 3 different output gain settings, low, medium, or high, which means depending on your camera or your audio capture device, portable audio recorder, whatever you're running it into, you can set the output gain of the Wireless Go appropriately. And I gotta tell you, that's fantastic because, for example, the Panasonic G85 has terrible audio preamps built into it, terrible mic pre's built into that camera. And one of the big problems is the G85 only lets you go to minus 12 dB. And there are some microphones that I have traditionally used which have an output signal that is too hot, even at minus 12 dB. And so they clip the G85 no matter what you do. And because those microphones don't have output gain control, there's nothing you can do about it. Well, you don't have total manual control. Like I said, it's like low, medium, or high, but I have this on the lowest setting going into the G85, which means I get clean audio and I never clip, and that's fantastic. And of course, there's a link button, but the two units do come pre-linked right out of the box. Setting it up for the first time was unbelievably simple. Press and hold the power button on each of them. They both turned on, they were synced immediately, and I was off to the races. And then of course there's that really fascinating feature I alluded to quickly earlier, which is the transmitter has a mic built in. So if you don't want to use a lav mic, I can simply use the microphone built into the transmitter. Now you'll notice a significant difference in sound quality. It's not like the mic built into this transmitter is the world's most amazing microphone. It's passable, it's usable, it's good enough. If they were wearing a button down, you could clip it here, you can clip it to the collar. If you really had to, you could just fold over a little bit of the shirt and clip it there, and then you've immediately got a system. Now, obviously, you've also got a big white square in the middle of their clothing. So this isn't like going to be invisible or stealthy or anything like that, but I think it's really cool that this was included. It's average, but it's usable. And sometimes usable and effective and quick and efficient is exactly what you need. Remember, no lav mic is included in this package. Now, there are a couple of other things that are included. For example, a nice carrying pouch, and it comes with two of these furry wind muffs. And the furry wind muffs actually have a little mount built into them that they can clip directly on to the transmitter, which I'll show you now outdoors. If you want to look extra super ridiculous, you can use the furry wind muff clipped to this and get some usable audio. Now again, you have this white box that's just sitting on on your talent, so it's not like it's going to be hidden. But all things considered, it's kind of a neat system. I think it's really impressive what Rode has done here. I find lav mics have a generally hollow sound, mostly because of the way that you need to position them. You put them on the chest or you put them right near the throat, and that's not a natural place to pick up sound on a human voice, right? You almost never are listening to someone talk with your ear pressed against their chest or against their throat. Try it with your friend or best friend or significant other. Ask their permission first. But, put your ear right up on their chest or right up on their throat while they talk. It's a weird sound, and suddenly you realize why lav mics sound the way they do. You almost always need to use EQ. Even Curtis Judd said this on his channel on one of his videos. Even pro-grade lav mics need EQ to sound their best. And sometimes the consumer-grade lav mics need EQ to even sound good. I think this sounds pretty good right out of the box for a lav mic, but it's by no means a natural sound. I associate lav mics with a hollow sound, and that's mostly due to two reasons. One, again, their proximity to your chest or throat, and two, they're almost always omnidirectional. So that's great because no matter where you position it, it'll pick up your voice, right? It picks up from 360 degrees. But the downside to omnidirectional is that it also picks up everything else, especially if you're talking at a desk where there's like a hard surface right underneath you and your voice is bouncing straight off the desk. The omnidirectional lav mic will pick up your voice and the bounce off the desk at slightly different times, which sometimes creates phasing issues, often gives you a very hollow sound, which is not to say anything about the quality of this particular lav mic. I do have a lav mic from Tascam, and now you're hearing the Rode Wireless Go system with the Tascam DR10L's lav mic, just to show you what it sounds like with a totally different microphone. Because remember, again, there is no microphone included with the Wireless Go system apart from the inbuilt one to the transmitter. So if you put a different lav mic in, you're going to get a different sound. This is a transmission system for wireless audio for 3.5 millimeter microphones, which is great. That means you can upgrade your mic over time, get a much higher quality, much nicer pro-grade lav mic, and still continue using this wireless system if you love it. And I mentioned this earlier, but you can of course plug any microphone, not just a lav mic, with a 3.5 millimeter connection into this. So for example, right now I'm using the Rode VideoMic NTG, also sent to me by Rode. They've been very kind to me this year. And this is a prosumer grade, a very high quality, very feature-packed boom microphone, a shotgun microphone. I'll leave a link up here and in the description to a bunch of videos I made about this one. But if you wanted to have this boomed overhead, maybe the camera is way too far away, you don't want to be stringing a cable all the way back to the camera. Sometimes when you run a 3.5 millimeter extension cable that's longer than 10 feet, you lose quality. So this would be one way to do it, is to use the Wireless Go system to boom the microphone, which is pretty cool. I mentioned earlier that I also wanted to demonstrate in this video the wonderful little accessory item, the MAGCLIP. So we're gonna head back outside so you can check out how cool this thing is and what it does. The MAGCLIP is just a magnet, a very strong magnet, and a clip, so MAGCLIP. And if you have this system, you can place the magnet underneath your shirt and clip it wherever using the magnet, which means you can actually get this mic into a much, much better position than just clipping it up here on your collar. There's a plane overhead right now. I'm actually really curious how this is picking me up versus the plane that's overhead and all the other noise going on here outside. This is actually a great test. If you didn't have a pocket or a belt, or sometimes women will, I know when I was doing stage crew in theater many years ago, it's like 15 years ago now, but a lot of times you would clip the pack receiver to the bra strap underneath the clothing. If you don't have something like that's easily accessible, then you could just use the MAGCLIP to do it like around the back. So imagine if I was going to do this, so that way it would just be sitting there, and then you could do all of your shots, all of your talking. You'd be using the lav mic and you'd have the pack on you. I've made this point. I think I've belabored it quite a bit. And last but not least, it wouldn't be a demonstration from me if I didn't at least show you a quick A/B test of using this system going directly into the camera versus going into a really quality preamp. So I'm going to switch out now the receiver from going into the camera into going into a Tascam DR05 portable audio recorder. And now you're hearing what it sounds like, where we are recording directly into the Tascam DR05 portable audio recorder and syncing this audio in post, as opposed to baking it directly into the camera. Just so you can hear the difference, because camera preamps, as I've said a million times, are really low quality and they do not do audio justice. And so any chance you get to record directly into a portable audio recorder and sync in post, you should definitely take advantage of that opportunity, because you're gonna really wring every ounce of quality, especially out of a system like this, because it's an expensive system, and to run such a nice system into such crappy preamps like the ones built into this G85 is just kind of a waste as far as I'm concerned. Then again, a lot of folks get a system like this precisely for the convenience factor, in which case you probably are not the kind of person who wants to be syncing audio in post. So you do you, but this is how much better it sounds. Oh, and it's worth noting, remember earlier we talked about being able to switch the output gain of the Wireless Go from low, medium, and high? Well, in order to go into the Tascam DR05, I cranked it up not all the way to high, but I went from low to medium. I'm giving it more output gain so that I could lower the gain of the Tascam's preamps, which means we're getting a clean signal appropriate for the DR05 versus when I needed it on the low setting to get a clean signal with the G85. Having even 3 fixed output settings is just such a blessing compared to so much audio gear in the consumer range. So what are my thoughts on the Rode Wireless Go? Well, honestly, color me impressed. I feel like I said that about the Rode VideoMic NTG, and really I've just been incredibly impressed with Rode's product line lately. For a couple of years there, I had gotten away from Rode, even though I grew up on Rode products, because not that they stopped making good stuff, but there were just so many other competitors in the consumer and prosumer tech market at more budget-friendly prices that it was hard not to go in those directions. But man, Rode came back swinging for the fences, and they've really knocked it out of the park on a handful of these new products. For wireless systems, if you're into this kind of a system, if you're into lav mics, I think it's fantastic. It's a little pricey, but the quality is there. The price, it's the right price. This is not overpriced by any stretch. I think it's a really solid system that'll make you happy for a long time to come. The wireless lav mic, which you can get in addition, is a good lav mic. I mean, I have no hesitation over recommending it. And honestly, this stupid little MAGCLIP thing, which I thought was going to be kind of a gimmick, I would absolutely get one of these if you're going to pick up the Wireless Go. This is so worth getting. It's so versatile, and yeah, I'm really impressed by that. I know this was a long video. I wanted it to be comprehensive, but I'm sure I couldn't have even covered half the stuff that you might have questions about. So hit me up in the comments if you have questions I can address in future videos. Like the video if this was helpful to you. Subscribe if you haven't already. We do audio tutorials and gear reviews here on the channel. Plus I do a series called Audio Critiques, which is relatively new and everybody's loving, where you can submit your audio samples or your content samples to me at audio101cc@gmail.com, and I will do a critique in a video, shout you out, tell you what I would have done differently and how it sounds and all that stuff. It's a great learning experience. It's a lot of fun. And stay tuned, because pretty soon I'm going to be doing a video reviewing one more accessory for the Wireless Go. Having said that, I'm Brian Miller. Thanks so much for stopping by, and always remember, our world is a shared experience. Every interaction is meaningful, and every person you meet, even virtually, is important. So come back anytime to sound better and level up, and we'll see you soon.